It's the summer of 2005. Chelsea had just won the Premier League, the San Antonio Spurs just became champions, and I was a 7-year-old boy in Belgium waking up early on a Saturday morning to catch the season finale of Justice League, the animated show. Lex Luthor and Brainiac had just completed the Potara fusion, and the Justice League had been defeated with no hope left in sight. The entire season had been building up to President Luthor executing the Flash, and he had finally restrained Wally, just like we had seen in the alternate universe. And just when it seemed the trigger was about to be pulled on our favourite speedster, he ran. As you can imagine, my 7-year-old self had never been so disappointed in a hero, so distraught, and I can confirm that my exact words at the time were, "Did this bona fide really run away? Where's he even gonna go? What's gonna happen to all his friends?" All these thoughts were running through my head when all of a sudden, Luthor gets hit by an unstoppable force that we learned was the Flash, running all the way around the earth, building up speed and power, shattering Brainiac's connection to Luthor piece by piece until they were unfused. This was one of my favourite superhero moments ever, and it made the Flash leapfrog over Superman and Spider-Man as my favourite superhero. So, can someone please tell me how the flying the CW has the fastest man alive struggling against his bootleg dollar store She-Hulk? Like, what the is this? What the actual am I seeing right now? Oh my days! Guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope all you wastemen have been having a lovely week, because I'm about to ruin it as we're going to talk about CW's awful, disgusting adaptation of The Flash. Before we get into the video, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, all of this stuff. You know, it really helps out and I really appreciate it. And yeah, it just helps me to pump out more of these and puts us in the algorithm, you know how it works. If you don't want to miss the videos, just make sure you click the bell, man, please. Thank you. When Barry Allen was first introduced into season 2 of Arrow, I couldn't believe we could possibly get a live action Flash. And when a year later the first episode finally released, I was cautiously optimistic. But it was amazing. The story was well written, the CGI was surprisingly good for network television, and the mystery of who Harrison Wells really was, chef's kiss. Okay, it was fantastic. You know, they put in your face that he was Eobard Thawne, but at the back of your head you always thought, but what if he's not? Do you know what I mean? Like, you could never really know, you never really knew. And I love that, I love that. Then season 2 came, and not gonna lie, Zoom was my guy. Oh my days, this guy was a bad man. He was out here breaking Barry's back and dangling his body across the central city, but man didn't stop there. He went and killed Barry's dad in front of him so he could push him to the dark side. My guy. My guy. We love our toxic villains. But unfortunately, the Flash went downhill from here on out. I know I'm not the only one thinking, how many times are you gonna go back in the past and try and fix things? I don't want to have to see your mum's death every other season, bro. After the second time of him ugly crying with his snot-filled nostrils flaring on my screen, it's kind of like, are you not embarrassed? A fully grown man just crying like a newborn baby. Is he not embarrassing? And then the writers constantly have him losing against opponents he has absolutely no business losing to. From season 1, this man was powerful enough to beat just about any criminal you could throw at him. He could literally go fast enough to break the time barrier and travel back in time. Like, he's the only person that could have actually gone back in time and unalived a weird mustached German man before a specific war happened. That's how strong he is. But you've got him fighting and struggling against random criminals, even in the final season where he's arguably a god tier superhero. A hero story is as good or as bad as his villains, and unfortunately, this man's villains were just not it. Cicada was a bum of a villain. That guy, what was his name? The wheelchair guy, who was meant to be really smart. What was his name? The Thinker. Oh my days, yeah, him. He was boring as oh my days. And then the Forces. Oh my days. Don't get me started on those Forces. Oh my gosh, the absolute cringe fest. Oh my goodness. Why is this 40-year-old grown-ass man calling Barry and Iris his mum and dad? Like, fuck off. Just fuck off about mum and dad. Do you know how weird that is?
So you're dad.
You know, like, I remembered it. I was sat in my uni room watching the episode, like, what are you doing? What? Why? Why? My actually shriveled from the level of cringe that was induced within me. It was that bad. Fuck, man. Oh my. I just really hate those villains. I'm sorry. Anyways, it's impossible to speak on everything wrong with the show without bringing up the Iris West question. Now, I'm trying to avoid all the misogyny allegations, so I'm gonna tread lightly, okay? But Iris is kind of a trash ass character. I'm not gonna lie. She's kind of whack.
Know your place, trash.
I think they introduced her into the story pretty well. The character was played really nicely by Candice Patton, and yeah, she was obviously meant to be his love interest, even though it's like a bit weird how she's technically his adoptive sister. Not even technically, she's actually his adoptive sister, and they were raised as siblings. You know, that's very weird, but let's not get into that. Guys, this is Editing Room Jesse, and yeah, this would have been a perfect opportunity for me to be like, unlike Barry, we're not going to get into that. But yeah, I was tired when I recorded this video, and that was a perfect time for a meme, but it's fine, it's all good. Next time. However, after Barry and Iris finally get together in season 3, it's so blatantly clear that the writers have absolutely no idea what they wanted to do with her. First, she was a waitress at Jitters, then she channeled her internal Lois Lane and became a junior reporter with seemingly absolutely no degree or relevant experience, but hey, it's 2015, affirmative action was still a thing. But keeping with the theme of getting undeserved opportunities without any prior experience or any prior indication of interest in this thing, she somehow becomes a leader of Team Flash. Yes, this civilian woman that has never led a team of baristas before, let alone led a team of superheroes that hold the lives of their community in the palm of their hands, was now in charge of Team Flash. And it just makes no sense.
That don't make no sense.
But it doesn't end there. She then somehow starts her own media company, but don't ask me about where she got the money to do this because no one actually knows or discusses this at all. The Central City Citizen quickly gains prominence and becomes what looks like a multi-million-dollar company that hires multiple employees, and Iris is able to win a Pulitzer in her early 30s, even though the average age of a Pulitzer Prize winner is 49 years old. But again, doesn't end there. Iris, on multiple occasions, gets speedster powers. She then gets some weird Mirror Master powers, becomes mother to all the new forces, and then gets a weird time sickness that essentially gives her time traveling powers. I don't know what it is with Hollywood writers these days, but it seems as though when it comes to writing female characters, they don't know what to do with them beyond them being the love interest or making them become the exact same as the main superhero, which is weird. It's very weird.
Weird.
I didn't have an issue with Iris being referred to as Barry's lightning rod, because initially it was just meant metaphorically, like a cute, lovey-dovey, moist way, you know? Obviously the main demographic of people that watch these shows have no girlfriends, so, you know, you guys wouldn't really understand it, but I got it, I understood it. But then, why did she actually start having an effect on his powers? Like, the whole storyline of her being needed for him to regain his lost powers was just so pointless. Like, I don't want to see her involved with any of that side of things. It's just pointless. It's just not necessary. I enjoy storylines where the superhero loses powers and, you know, has to understand himself better in order to regain his powers. The Spider-Man 2 did it so well with Tobey Maguire, and, you know, I'm pretty sure in that movie he got his powers back after, you know, I think he failed to save people in a burning building, and, you know, he got his resolve back to become a superhero. So they might have done something to MJ, can't remember, but I don't mind if you want to bring in the storyline that way, where she has a role within that context. But when you want to do it like, oh no, he doesn't have his powers without her, and all this, it's just lame. Like, you're just doing that because she's a girl, and you want to find someone where she's like, oh, she's a boss babe and whatever. It's just lame. It's just so lame. I'm never going to escape these misogyny allegations. I think the handling of Iris was emblematic of all the issues I have with The Flash as a show. Everything from writing and visuals was initially handled very well within the budgetary constraints, but as the show went on, it just seemed as though the writers didn't know where they wanted to take the story. It's obvious that when they first created the series, they didn't have a clear idea for how they wanted the series to end, but once the show got some success, they felt the need to squeeze every possible drop of content they could, regardless of how many fans they lost along the way, which can be seen when you look at the steep drop of its rating. And obviously I know that this happens to every show, usually, after they've been on air for a while. You know, it happened to Arrow, it happened to every other superhero show in the Arrowverse, but it's just really sad because The Flash was the biggest one. It's also the longest running show of the Arrowverse as well, so it's just a bit peak that it couldn't land a bit better. The Flash is just another victim of the content-driven entertainment landscape we live in. focusing on pushing product rather than prioritizing telling a well-constructed, coherent story. And it's a shame because it really could have cemented itself in my memory just as the animated Justice League show did for me almost 20 years ago. But instead I'm sat here actively trying to forget this once beloved show. But anyway guys, let me know what you think about this. Was I being too hard on the series? Was Iris actually the main character and the saving grace of the show? What do you want me to talk about in the next video? Just leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. But as you know, like, subscribe, press that bell notification, all of that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.